The year 2025 did not begin with the promise of peace. Tensions along the line of control had been simmering for months. But in early August, that fever spiked dangerously. A cross-border raid, far more audacious than anything seen in recent years, targeted an Indian Army patrol in the Karan sector. The attack was brutal, coordinated, and left little doubt about its origins. Intelligence intercepts pointed directly to renewed activity in terror camps. New Delhi's response was initially cloaked in silence. Behind closed doors, the mood was grim. The political leadership had reached a tipping point. The time for restraint was over. The intelligence was precise and damning, showing terror launch pads protected by regular Pakistani army units. Inside the war room, Operation Vajra Prahar was presented. It was audacious, proposing Brahmos strikes against high-value targets. The Brahmos was India's silver bullet, traveling at nearly 3 times the speed of sound, flying a terrain-hugging trajectory that made it almost impossible to intercept. The plan used air-launched versions from Su-30 MKI fighters and ground-launched missiles from mobile launchers. This was not a surgical strike. This was a statement of overwhelming technological superiority. The Brahmos would be on its targets in minutes, presenting Pakistan with a fait accompli. The target list focused on terror infrastructure and the military assets enabling it. 4 main terror training complexes with command bunkers, ammunition depots, and communication hubs. 2 key Pakistani airbases would be targeted to cripple their retaliatory capability. The final go-ahead was given on August 17th. The Prime Minister gave a single, firm nod. Strike aircraft were moved to forward positions, the wheels were set in motion. At precisely 200 hours, the first salvo of Brahmos missiles ignited the sky with an eerie orange glow. They accelerated towards targets, hugging mountain terrain at supersonic speeds. Su-30 MKI fighters released their payload, ramjet engines screaming across the border. The terror camp in Muzaffarabad was hit by 3 missiles. The impact was devastating and instantaneous. The first missile obliterated the main command bunker, collapsing the reinforced structure. Secondary explosions at ammunition dumps created a series of massive blasts that lit up the night. The second wave struck the air bases. The Brahmos performed their deadly task with cold precision. Runway-penetrating variants cratered the main landing strips, rendering them unusable. Cluster munitions struck aircraft shelters, causing raging fires that engulfed the flight lines. Within 8 minutes, India had neutralized the terror launch pads and crippled Pakistan's aerial response. The strike package was already back home, the message delivered with the force of a thunderbolt. The first confirmation came from a terse MEA statement declaring non-military preemptive strikes against imminent threats. India launched a diplomatic blitz, presenting compelling intelligence that necessitated the strikes. Pakistan's reaction was fury and helplessness, their denial quickly crumbling as evidence circulated. The international community was stunned. Washington privately acknowledged India's right to self-defense. Russia remained largely silent, its position seen as tacit approval of its partners' actions. Major world powers preferred back-channel diplomacy over public debate at the UN. The global strategic community hailed it as the textbook example of conventional strike under nuclear overhang. India had shattered the doctrine of nuclear blackmail that had paralyzed the region for decades. It forced every military planner in the world to reassess their strategic assumptions. An uneasy calm settled over the region. Pakistan, facing crippled air command, chose not to escalate. The cost of sponsoring terror had become prohibitively high, fundamentally altering strategic calculations. India had established a new red line and demonstrated credible capability to enforce it. Strategic restraint was replaced by a new doctrine of dissuasive punishment built on swift, precise conventional response. The Brahmos became the symbol of this new deterrence, giving policymakers flexible response options. The strikes forced introspection within Pakistan, creating pressure for policy change. Operation Vajra Prahar was more than military victory. It was a strategic reset, showcasing India's emergence as confident, advanced military power. The thunder of Brahmos missiles echoed far beyond Kashmir, signaling a new era where missile speed could change decades of strategic calculus. The peace that followed was born not from appeasement, but from newly established and clearly understood deterrence.